So just a quick recap on what tapping is and how to do it. Tapping is basically getting the body and the mind to talk together, because along the line of your life there's been incidents or traumas or things that have happened which basically have stuck in your energy system. So by means of using your acupressure points on your face and your hands and pretty much the whole body, but specifically those points if you want to work on something specific, it's a means of calming the body down and getting the mind and the body to agree on something, which is usually what the mind is trying to do, but the body has a resistance. Now, you can tap on, as I said, anywhere in the body, because we actually are touchy physical beings. But what I tend to do is tap on the pressure points on the face, which is between the eyebrows, side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, on the collarbone, under the arm, along the bra strap, or in line with the nipple if you're a guy, and then I do on top of the head. Now that's the long version, but basically the reason why we use those points is that's where emotion shows up on the face. When you think about it, I can tell by looking at you whether you're really angry, really sad, not always the exact emotion, but it does show up on the face. So if we calm these muscles or these areas of sensitivity down, in turn it can actually work on calming the whole body down. Now, one of the points that I like to use, and I use quite a lot personally, is the cross arm tapping. So I'm basically just folding my arms, because I sit folded armed across my chest quite a lot, and I just basically tap while focusing on the negative problem. Now, the negative problem can be absolutely anything from I'm scared of talking in front of a camera, I'm scared of making a mistake in front of a camera, I'm scared of talking in public, anything that gives you some kind of negativity and physical response to not get what you're actually wanting to do. Now, that sounds crazy. Why would we use the negative? And it's a question I get quite a lot of the times. The negative issue is what's causing the block in the electrical system. And I use a practical example of, like, if you've got a splinter in your finger, you don't worry about getting the non-existent splinters out the other fingers. You need to get that issue out in order for the body to do the healing and make your finger feel the same as the rest. So it's the same as much as the emotional body. If you've got something negative blocking in your system, whatever you do physically, you need to get the problem out. So we go and we look at the negative, we bring it out into the open, we give it light, and we understand why it get there, and the body has an automatic way of, well, now I don't need that anymore. And that's what I find absolutely fascinating about tapping. Sometimes it can get a bit complicated. People say to me, I don't know what to say, I don't know if I'm saying it right. If you're working with a deep emotional issue, it is usually advisable to speak to somebody that does it on a professional level. Or you can actually talk it over with a friend, and while you're talking, just physically tap, whether this tapping or tapping on your collarbone or tapping on your face. But really, you don't need to do this alone, but you can do it alone. And the beauty of it is you can do it in the safety of your home, in your car, while you're stuck in traffic. You can do it in the office, you can do it on the loo. There really doesn't need to be a quiet, contemplative space. All you're wanting to get, excuse me, is your brain to focus on the problem and tap physically at the same time. And you'll see, before you know it, a lot of the things that used to, the small stuff that used to sweat, like don't sweat small stuff, you'll be finding that they're no longer an issue for you. So try it on everything.